Yeah.
And 5 more seconds. All right, it is 7 o'clock.
Anybody making a motion to
I would
adjourn?
like to move to adjourn. Only 1 second.
I'll second that.
You first? Joe?
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Done. Now, call to order for the regular board meeting.
Arnold, absent. Beckwith,
Here.
Farcapisi,
Here.
Flores,
Here.
Cotsinis,
Here.
Hamilton,
Here.
Sutton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have our new mission statement here.
That's
sir.
right.
New mission statement, to enrich, empower, and enlighten the people of Warren Newport Public Library District. Mission statement approved on July 2013, or 2023. Lost count of what decade we're in. Public comment. Does anyone wish to speak? All right. Written correspondence.
Yes, we have two. One is correspondence from the City of Waukegan, Department of Planning and Zone. And here I'm passing. And the second is from a patron. Resident of Gurney, interested in having a post exchange in the library.
Just as an update, if you didn't hear, as this patron reached out to the board, Georgia Celeste in particular, staff had already been doing this, it was already in the works. So we have a puzzle swap established, the patron is delighted, and it is live in the business center, so.
Oh, it's
check
already
it out.
done? It's done?
Yep.
Oh, well. That's awesome. When does it end?
It does not.
Oh, it's just.
Perpetual.
May not live there forever, but it's there for now, so we'll find a new home, but we're trying it out there for now,
How many
so.
do you have so far?
We have one unit, so there are probably about 7 or 8 puzzles on it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do more.
If it finds a new
COVID.
home, we might
Yeah.
have more room.
Yeah.
So the idea is that it would
A year
rotate.
ago, I got rid of a bunch of puzzles. Well, COVID time, but it was doing puzzles.
All right, next we have consent agenda. Anyone want to make a motion?
I move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Moving on. Nothing was removed. President's reports on page 15. Reports of other trustees. Does anyone have a report this morning? All right. Executive Director's report, page 16. Any questions there?
I was wondering if you knew when the ribbon cutting was gonna be for the quiet reading room?
Yeah, it's gonna be the week of October 16th. I don't, Mayor had indicated he was available that week, and I think it's maybe any morning, so I don't have an exact date pinned down, but I will this week, so stay tuned. The week of October 16th, it will be at 8:45, 9 a.m.
I also wondered on page 20, under the bilingual health advocacy event, what is LCAGC? That first bullet point, page 20. Page 20.
LCAGC, page 20.
That's a great question. Lake County Health? Something or other?
I-
No, I don't know. Let me find
Googled
out,
it
Joe,
and
and
it
get.
didn't come-
get-
okay, I was just curious.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Just wondering.
We just posted about it, so
Mm-hmm.
it should be pretty high up on the Facebook, because I saw it today. I can't recall either.
Yeah, it's a good question.
How did the transition to CCS go?
I think,
I think remarkably well.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, anytime you go live on a new system, there's going to be some challenges, and there were some small hiccups, but, you know, we went live when we were supposed to, and, you know, I think the vast majority of the, you know, databases were accessible and back online, so no, and, you know, staff, you know, we got some really high compliments from the CCS staff about how great the staff was to work with and how everyone had a positive attitude about joining a new system, because it's not always the case, because if you think about it, you're learning a brand new workflow, particularly with the circulation department, so, yeah.
And so far, no patron complaints?
The only thing that we're struggling with a little bit is the Hoopla transition, because password just didn't go over if anybody had created a unique password. So we're getting many calls again. So if you were struggling with Hoopla, stop at the adult desk and they would be very happy to get you set up with your PIN.
So with Hoopla,
But it's
different.
Okay.
It was my fault.
The one thing I noticed was if you do a catalog search from the main page, it doesn't actually do a catalog search. It gives you the CCS catalog search, but it's blank.
Yes, that is one of the,
You have to
one of the little
re-enter,
hiccups.
yeah.
Mhm, yeah, so it's not, it's not, everything's not perfect yet,
Right,
100%,
yeah.
but yes, that
No,
is
that's
a
great,
known
though.
issue, I'm trying to think what other known issues we have. The Hoopla thing, the search from the homepage.
There aren't a lot of other big ones. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some things with, like, we had to handle internally, or some of our printers needed some, you know, changes and things like that, but patron facing, not very many issues.
That's great and amazing.
So I'll ask a question. If you check out a book that's at a different library that has not gone fine free, and you return the book late, are there fines?
The
Yeah.
only library in CCS that is charging fees is McHenry. So only if you have one of their items would
Okay.
fines. So you're subject to the rules of the lending library. But because there's only one library within the CCS that is handling that, or, you know, operating that way. I was also curious about when I was looking at the statistics on page 24. Now that it's gonna be CCS, if it's reciprocal borrowing, is that considered an interlibrary loan? Or will the interlibrary loan go down if that's not?
Yeah, these numbers we expect them to go down, right?
Okay, that's
right.
what I thought.
Yes.
I was just
Yeah.
curious about it.
And if you're wondering about the circulation statistics, it'll be interesting to see what like in September, August, we had a little bit of downtime because we were down for the transition to CCS, and of course we had some closures because of the swamp threats.
Right,
So
right.
when you look at those numbers, you may be
Okay.
thinking, why did that happen?
Yeah, okay.
I need to look into further, and this is probably because of the downtime with CCS, but the e-content stats are way down, and I'm not exactly sure why, so.
Maybe because people have problems with Hoopla?
We couldn't access things for a period of time, for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I know, but it
So-
still seems they're down more, so I wanna do some more digging and talk to more staff about that, and I didn't get those answers for the meeting, but. But, you know, we should see, it'll be interesting to see what our statistics do, because now it's just so much easier to get things from other libraries to search the catalog and find things, so I think, see, I requested something, and maybe it did take like 4 days to get here, so, yeah, it's fast too, so. So check it out, do it if no, for other reason, just to see how quick it is.
And I will say, this weekend, there was a specific book that one of my kids was looking for, and it was not available here, because it had been checked out, and I looked, and it was at one of our neighboring libraries, and just drove there, picked it up, and took it home, and I'm happy that I can just return it right back here when we're done.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, one of my book club members was interested in the new Ann Patchett book, and we don't have any copies, she said. But I said, but now you have all these libraries, so, you know, she was like, that's you know, the newest one, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but if you can get it, what's the difference? But, well, okay.
So there was a little bit of a delay because we were moving into this new system. We couldn't place orders for a little bit.
Okay.
So you will notice that there may be some things like that other libraries are showing up a little earlier than us.
Ah.
Because we had to transition to a whole new purchasing portal as well.
Oh,
So,
okay, that's a good explanation. I'll be sure.
So I know you listed this under special plans for near future, but Any updates you can share now about the outreach vehicle RFP?
Yeah, we talked about it at the last meeting. The RFP is essentially complete. I'm hoping to get it with Scott this week, now that he's back. He was on vacation, so it was with the attorney, and now it's time to issue it. So it should be, yeah, we should hope to get it soon, next couple of weeks.
And then I wasn't sure, so page 18 under adult services, I wasn't sure what it was. We received new chargers for patrons to check out for in-house use. Like, I wasn't sure what chargers.
So, in the vault, for a long time, we've had chargers that teens could use while they were here because their phones were dead, and you're noticing that. And it worked so well that the youth desk got some, and now the adult desk has them as well. So people can just, say they need a charger, and there's a unit that's got Android, Apple, any variety. They can check it out while they're here, and then they return it to the desks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then page 19, I know I have the info, but I figured for everyone to have it for Hispanic Heritage Month, date and time.
What is the exact
Do you
date
want
and
me to
time?
bring it up? I can bring it up in my calendar too.
And so this is the one that Ryan's looking up right now, is the multi-partner event. We're really lucky this year because this is kind of an all across the library initiative. So we've got events happening now through
But it's
mid-October,
October 1st.
which is really nice.
Okay,
Really
let me
nice.
double
For all
check.
ages.
Excuse me.
He's double checking
Mhm. Yep.
the date that I have, because I wasn't able to join the last two meetings that
Okay.
Maria had. It's a really tricky time, that meeting time. But do you know when the flyer's gonna be out for it?
That I don't know. I know that Maria's working with communications, so.
This changed. Yeah, the big celebration is Saturday, October 21st, from 11 to 1. And there was a section of the website that listed all of the programs, but it changed because there's a Celebrate With Us, and I wonder what happened, because I really liked that. There was there was 4 events, but maybe it changed.
Was it the latest? So, because those are blog posts, so maybe it just got bumped down, so if you see
Maybe.
more.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, there's a link to the list. So, yeah, at least it went back to September 11th. So, so there's a lot. There's sign up on Beanstack, Get to Know Hispanic American Heritage Month. So that's September 15th through October 15th. Lotteria Family Game Day, Saturday, September 23rd, which is this Saturday.
Mhm.
Then the Hispanic Heritage Celebration on the 21st, and several other programs as well. So I really think we've come a long way with this. I mean, we've always celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month, but I think last year we did more, and now we have a more, I think, coordinated effort to the library. So yeah, we've made really good strides in that area.
Any other questions on the executive director's report? All right, moving on to old business. Building systems updates.
Yeah, so I think this is much better news than I shared with the board. Was it a month ago when the board voted to close the library for 2 weeks? We're still looking at a significant closure of about a week, but it's better than it was because we'll be able to have some limited service in the building that second week. The challenge with the first week really is the crane on site. Because even though if you look on the calendar on page 30, we see what is suspected to be crane days, we're subject to weather and ideal conditions. So our thinking is keep the building closed the first week, because we don't want to say, okay, we're going to be open on Friday to the public, and then we push back the crane, and we got to get the messaging out. So to stay consistent, I think it's understandable to the public to message it that way. you can see we have a lot of things planned when we are closed and during limited service weeks, because even when we have limited service, it's not going to require the whole staff to provide the services we're going to be able to provide. So I think the big thing that I'm excited about focusing on is the training piece, because one of the things that we were made aware of during the strategic planning process was there's a great deal of training that we need from all kinds of different areas. So, but there's other things we're going to be doing as well. And it's also a chance for us to really promote one of the big benefits of CCS, which we talked about, and that is the fact you can easily take your library card and go to Lake Villa or Grace Lake and use their library. So one of the things that I'm thinking about is I don't know, some kind of little video series where we make a video of like, oh, the library's closed, that really stinks, but guess what? We can go check out what's going on in Lake Villa or Grace Lake, and then do a little video where we go over there and we show patrons what they have over there. Not that we want to lose our patrons, but I really think that's a big advantage, and we know that patrons do that. I mean, like, all of us probably do that too. Like, I know if I want to go to a library, my kid's a little old for this, that has like a playground inside, I can go to Barrington. You know, it's really great. You know, it's like, have you ever been to the Barrington Library? It's like, yeah.
Nice, love that.
Yeah,
Really?
so
Kids area.
so there are some, but if you want to come to a library that, where you can really just do something in a really quiet place, we've got a quiet reading room. A lot of libraries don't have that. So we all have our advantages and disadvantages to our buildings. So I think it's an opportunity to, turn a negative into a positive. Let's promote the fact we joined CCS. And yeah, it stinks that we're closed, but we've got to do this, and guess what? Your library card is powerful because you can go to this building and
That's a
do
really
these
good
other things.
idea.
So,
Yep.
Benny?
I could lose everything, just give me my library card and a friend whose couch I can sleep on, I'll be just fine.
but any questions about the schedule or concerns?
No, I mean, I guess because I saw that when you wrote under committees, it said touring other libraries, so yeah, I was curious what. So it's gonna be like what you just said, or?
Yeah, so when, let me give you some examples. For example, one of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna go out to bid for a new automated materials handler, AKA book sorter. So this is an opportunity for the shelvers and circulation team to go to the libraries and check out their sorters, as one example. So I think most of our committees could get some benefit out of field trips, and we never had the opportunity to do that. It's always hard staffing. It's like, well, we can't all go because we get stuff passed. So this is a rare opportunity to do some things we can't usually do.
My follow-up question was if any of those tours were gonna happen in the evening with some of the evening staff, and, could we come?
I don't know, and maybe.
They don't want it there.
No, I don't. It's a good question.
It ruins all their fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, probably though we would tour libraries, I would think during the day, because that's when most of our colleagues would be there that would be, helping us with the tours, so.
Do you have the date and time for the holiday lunch?
I don't, not yet.
I will say one thing, if you want to tour other libraries, having a small person with you is very helpful, because they explore everything. So they're really great to take to other libraries, and they're a great excuse to go look at the kids sections, and everybody knows the kids' books are the
Are
best.
you offering to
He doesn't have little ones anymore.
My little ones are probably not what you want to take with you to most other libraries.
They've probably been to all the other libraries.
They've explored them all, yes. They've had a lot of fun.
And I'm randomly on the news because I just picked up a kid.
Find a kid, somebody's always off.
Kidnap a kid because you want to tour a library.
No, I thought this was hopefully really good news.
All right. Quiet reading room.
Yeah, just an update. I was going to mention that it'll be the week of October 16th. I don't have the exact day pinned down, but it will be 8:45, 9 a.m. So we're going to invite the village, specifically Mayor Hood. As you all know, the village contributed $50,000 for that project. So we're going to ask them to do the ribbon cutting, and I believe Quinn is going to come, and they're going to make it a Tom's Tour. If you're familiar with Mayor Hood's social media, it goes around and they do some videos. That'll be good. In addition, we're going to invite our donors that also helped to make it possible, that contributed to that, the annual appeal. So, yeah, so it's going to be good. I mean, pretty low key, but it'll be a nice ceremony.
Let's
So
make sure our puzzle looks good. Not done, but not like two pieces either. somewhere in between.
I'm gonna be frantically doing it the night
Yeah,
before.
No, you just put a call out to all puzzlers.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, new business. Approval of Secretary's Report, page 32. Do I have a motion for that?
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting, August 15th, 2023, be approved as presented.
Do I have to abstain?
Somebody must have to.
Do we have a second?
I think I do. Yeah.
Second from somebody?
Floor is
I'll
now.
second.
Who was here?
I was here, I second.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, roll call, please.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Flores,
Abstain.
Hamilton,
Abstain.
Arnold absent, Kotsinis,
Aye.
ayes have it.
All right. Next, page 38, policy 1053. So do we have a motion to approve this?
All motion.
Well,
Wait, don't we need to?
yeah,
Or
aren't
do
we
we wanna have any
gonna talk
discussion?
about the other issue?
Oh, there's another issue? Sorry, did I miss something?
Yeah, do we
On
want to record?
36 and 37?
36 and 37, where's 36 and 30? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual policies on 38, page 36, 37 is the memo. So
Yeah.
the board had discussed, you know, whether WNPL should continue the practice of recording meetings and sharing them with the public. So one of the things that came out of that conversation was the board wanted to know, well, who records them, who doesn't? So if you look on page 37, it's broken down by area libraries, who records their meeting, who doesn't, and then the local governments. Now, I did not, I asked the libraries, and I just kind of looked on the websites, and if for whatever reason the Park District records their meetings, they really hide it on their website, they don't make it obvious, so. But I think this is accurate. You know, District 50 definitely records their meetings, the Village of Gurnee does. I don't believe any of the bodies of government do, so.
Well, when you look at the libraries, it's 2/3 no,
Yeah.
don't, so, I don't know.
I'll say that my opinion, I'll state my opinion. This is just a matter of public transparency. It makes it easier for people who want to see what we're doing. I don't object to that. I think that's a good thing.
I would like to state my opinion. We are completely transparent. Our meetings are open to the public. We keep minutes, we keep accurate minutes, those are on the website. Our agenda is posted in advance. And only 1/3 of the people on this list, and I wouldn't accuse any of them of being opaque and non-transparent. I think we're plenty transparent, and that's my say-so. And I think the original reason it was done was ridiculous. I know that's no
was gonna
longer
refer to
valid.
that too. It
Wasn't done
wasn't
yet?
ridiculous. It was necessary
At
then,
that
but it's
time.
not necessary now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the reason the person wanted it done
I get it.
was to prove how he was being mistreated by his fellow trustees.
Does anyone else want to say something about this?
And we identified that they're not viewed very often,
Well, they're not
correct?
viewed often, but they are.
There was over
viewed.
100 views. It was more than other
Oh, was it?
programs, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it also takes time, staff time, and equipment, and takes staff time to record it, takes staff time to edit it and post it. So now it's just up to everybody's vote. Unless you want to say something.
I mean, I'm in favor of it. I don't see why we would take it away.
Well, voting on that is really not on the agenda, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, so as I said in the memo, if the board decides
Modify, remove.
it's ready for approval, you could approve it, and if not, I think the board would either need to modify or remove the policy in October. So those are your options on the table. So the board could decide not to approve it tonight, we could run it back in October and decide how to proceed. So those are the options the board has, so.
So the vote tonight is to approve or disapprove the changes?
To
Yeah,
approve or
the-
disapprove the policy as
Policy.
presented, there are no substantive changes in the policy. But we do review our policies every 3 years typically. Or is it 4 years
So
now?
I still don't understand the vote.
So my thinking, Andrea, is let's say the board decides, like fundamentally, a no vote is we no longer record the board meetings. I would suggest an October committee of the whole, the board would go back and either decide to delete this policy or modify it, you know, so.
I mean, we could vote tonight even to rescind the policy. The policy's on here.
Yeah, it's on the agenda. You could do that too.
So it wouldn't require a second vote. It's a question of, do we want to accept this policy as presented? Do we want to vote to remove the policy? Either one would be valid motions. They'd be conflicting motions, so we'd do one or the other. Does anyone want to move one way or the other?
I move to remove, I move that we remove this policy 1053 from board policies.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, we'll do a roll call.
Flores,
No.
Hamilton,
No,
Hamilton.
I'm here.
Sorry.
No.
Beckwith,
No.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Sutton, Arnold, absent, Kotsinis.
No.
Okay, so, the motion fails.
So do we do another motion
And then
to?
do another motion if we want to accept the policy as presented.
So I move to accept board policy 1053, recording board minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
All right, another roll call.
Flores,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Arnold, absent, Kotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thanks for compiling that list though, Ryan, it helped to give us
Yeah.
an idea.
Yeah, that was a good exercise, and I understand. You know, I didn't want to say anything because personally, I don't like being recorded. Hello, everybody. But I think also it is probably good government. I really do believe that local government is some of the best government out there. I know there's some bad local governments, but especially when you see what's going on at some state level governments, like our neighbors to the north in Wisconsin, and the federal government, which is dysfunctional. I think it's a good thing to do. But yes, personally, I don't like being recorded too. So
I did not
could
bring this
agree
up
with
as
that.
a reason because nobody on this board is doing it, but people also used it in the past to grandstand for the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not even remotely possible with this board.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I see that in Waukegan.
Mhm.
So.
And it can always be revisited if.
Oh, I'll
in
be
fact
doing
things
it
change.
again whenever the policy comes up again.
If you're still on the board.
And of course, I still get his chair.
Yeah, I know, if she says ever back to the camera, that's understood.
All right. Next on the agenda, ordinance 2023-2024-4, the budget and appropriation ordinance for fiscal year 23-24, page 40. It's one of the major things we do every year.
Yeah,
Any questions or discussion?
I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance number 2023-2024-4, budget and appropriation, and ordinance for the Warren Newport Public Library District for fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2024, as presented.
I'll second that.
A second.
Wendy.
Wendy?
Oh.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a roll call for this one?
Arnold, absent, Sutton,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Flores,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Kotsinis.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, next. We are on proclamation of the National Friends of the Library Week, page 47. So, just a summary, this is As we go into October, we have Friends of the Library celebrated in October. We wanted to present this early because our meeting in October is a little late, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
So we are passing this a little bit early because better early than late. And this is again a resolution thanking our friends of the library for all that they do for us.
I move to pass resolution number 2023-2024/1 National Friends of Libraries Week 2023 proclamation.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Flores,
Aye.
Hamilton,
Aye.
Arnold absent, Sutton,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
ayes have it.
All right. Closure for Warren Township High School Homecoming Parade.
Yeah, we talked about this at the committee of the whole. Basically, the parade will block access to the library, so it only makes sense for us to close because otherwise no one's going to be able to access the library anyway. So the idea is we just have a slight delay in opening. We say till 10:30, but whenever it clears up, we can open up. So.
I move that the board approve the library closure on Saturday, September 30th from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. for the Warren Township High School homecoming parade.
I second.
All right, roll call, please.
Arnold absent, Hamilton,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Flores,
Aye.
Beckwith,
Aye.
Farkapisi,
Aye.
Kotsinis,
Aye.
ayes have it.
All right. Next on our agenda, quarterly review of executive director evaluation and goals, page 48. Brian, would you like to walk us through what's here?
Yeah, I think we're in good shape in terms of the goals for 2023. So we have finished the strategic plan, and we're working on one thing we haven't really done a great job of yet is
Point of order.
yeah,
Is this something that we need to do in executive session?
no,
Okay.
yeah, no, this is yeah, this isn't part of the formal review process. We agreed to talk about these, but I appreciate that. Yeah, so we've adopted the strategic plan. One of the things we're working on is getting out more information to the public about it, like a digestible way to kind of go over the plan and what's in it. Because if you remember, the plan that the board passed is a lengthy document, so which we'll put out there as well. But
Can I mention something about that?
of course, yeah.
I think the website still has the short-term plan.
Oh, okay.
And when you put the new one up, it needs to connect to the board.
Extranet.
Thank you. No.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where I want to make sure, I mean, we are actively working on many elements of the strategic plan, and a lot of them were kind of in the works as the board adopted it, but we need to do a better job of communicating all the things we're doing to the public. In terms of the salary compensation structure and job descriptions, I think by the middle of October, we should have the salary compensation structure complete, so we've accumulated the data, and we're looking at that, and really we're focused on kind of the jobs where we want to avoid the wage compression with the minimum wage increasing as it has done every year. So that's in process. I think while we are redoing job descriptions as we go along, I think after that's complete, we'll have to do more work on job descriptions going into 2024, because I think this process will change some job descriptions as we're looking at salary compensation. So, but I feel like a big chunk of that will be done this year. So that's the status of that process. Improving outreach services, collaborating with the deputy director. I think the board's aware of all the things that have been going on with the mobile services department. And we are still meeting on a monthly basis with them. I know Rebecca, you meet with Scott probably every week at least, right? So, but that's going well. I will say that the community stops are off to a slow start, but it's going to take time to. I was expressing to George the other day my anxiety that there aren't more people using the stops, but it's early, so let's get the word out there. And I think the building systems project is also an opportunity for us to promote the community stops, so we'll do that as well. And then the work smarter, not harder, the process for identifying and honoring, part of the recruitment and retention committee, we did a survey on staff recognition, and I'll share just a few things. Because one of the things that I want to make sure we do with any type of recognition program we put into place here is that there's buy-in from the staff, because in our history there have been a lot of these recognition programs that have kind of started and then it just kind of faded. So, we asked the staff, and in terms of recognition for work smarter, not harder, the majority want kind of, very simple recognition, weekly shout-outs, supervisor, manager, one-on-one recognition, food or gifts of appreciation. People tend not to want department-wide recognition. That's only 27% of respondents. Library Board of Trustees recognition, only 15%, another 9%. So I think as we look at this data and we start to put a more robust staff recognition program in place, we'll lean towards what the staff want to see. So yeah, so that's in progress, so.
Yeah, I like the staff input.
Yeah.
And I will say, we did talk about the bookmobile stops. We're completely changing the program. We've changed all of our stops. Literally all of our stops have changed. I know we live in a society that likes to see immediate results and can measure things within seconds. That doesn't work for this. We have to be there before people can go there. And it's going to take a few months, many months, for people to start recognizing and word to get out that this is going to be when, it's going to be where. But that's not something that we expected.
Word of mouth from neighbors and all of that, yeah.
So I
We
did
can
have
get
a-
the bell like the ice cream truck.
We're not setting off fireworks when the bookmobile stops.
We can go to Wisconsin. I did have a question, because I know that a lot of the stops are newer, but I didn't know if there was any, I know there were ambassadors before. What was the title of? I know the program wasn't like at its height, but I know.
Right.
What
So we
was it,
started.
Fred?
So
What was it?
what we ended up doing, the Library Ambassadors program, when we, I'm trying to think. It was last year. Was it in the fall? I think staff, the mobile services staff, they asked, well, what they were talking about ways we could increase traffic, and there was this idea of doing this Library Ambassador program. So. What staff did is they reached out to the more enthusiastic bookmobile patrons on those stops, and then asked them to spread the word. So it was a very informal effort done by the department. They've been in our communications in terms of the stops, but we have not formalized any library ambassador program.
Yeah, and I just didn't know if we wanted to.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. One thing that Scott and Jenny said is, as we were starting to launch these new community stops, almost all of the patrons are new patrons. So it would probably take some time to even develop who we would, pinpoint as an ambassador, because these are new users.
That's good.
It
Mhm.
really is.
And then the other one.
No, I was going to say that it
Yeah.
is a good point, because I
Yeah.
think one of the ways these stops will be successful is those hyper-focused, like Facebook groups, right? Like, so the Fairway Ridge, Facebook group, or next door group. I think that's one of the ways these stops will be successful, because then people know about it, they're talking about it in their neighborhood, so. it's a good
And then
point.
I know, at least for Park City, Angels Boxing,
Mhm.
I don't know if there's any, I know Maria had met with them, I didn't know if there's gonna be a partnership there anytime soon, but I think trying to look for organizations that are maybe near that park or something, that could
do know
also
that-
help spread the word or something like that. I don't know if
The bookmobile
it would
was
exist
there
everywhere,
for the
right?
event that they had. So,
Yeah.
but in
But
terms of
I know they're coming to the park in Park City, right? So
Uh-huh.
if they're able to say like on this, because it's like a recurring calendar, right? So there's probably, I don't know if there's other organizations near other stops, right? But maybe trying to use them to help
Yeah.
let people know. Because I think it's just, again, right, like putting in people's calendars. I know I put the one for Park City was today, but I had another meeting that came up and didn't make it.
Right. I think that is the tricky part with mobile services though, because we're open 9 to 9, the majority of the time, and, our weekends are a set period and it's quite a long time. Where mobile services, even under the best of circumstances, we're somewhere for an hour and then we're moving and everybody's busy. So, no matter what, it's trickier to find mobile services than it is going to be, a branch or a main line.
So those people who were very vocal when all of this was being discussed, have they been reached out to specifically and, let them know what the new schedules are and,
Oh, they're aware, yeah.
good.
Yeah, a lot of them attended that we did a kind of, like an update. What-
Virtual.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
virtual,
the
the
virtual
virtual
one.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
Some board members were there.
Yes.
What
But yeah,
was the
we've been keeping
general
everyone in the loop.
reaction from that very vocal group?
At the
From the
time.
group who were very vocal at one time, are they
So
supportive, or are they
it
wait and
depends
see?
on, if, honestly, it just depends on if there's a stop in their neighborhood, right?
How close to their house
Yeah,
it is?
yeah, so, I mean, there are
Close to
some that are
their
thrilled because they have a stop that's very close to where they live, and then those that, maybe it's not as convenient as it was, they're not happy with this.
Yeah, some people need to cross major streets, so, yeah, it was a mix.
Yeah. But that's the
Ryan
challenge.
did a great
you know,
job answering
serving.
those
Well,
questions.
and Scott,
It's always
I had to
very
give Scott the
diplomatic,
credit, 'cause
yes.
Scott did the
That
whole
too, yes,
presentation,
Scott,
yes.
yes.
But yeah, no, that's the challenge with serving, 67,000 people, that, we can't.
Make everyone
we-
happy.
Yeah, right,
That's right.
so that's the challenge we face.
I will say, I know they posted a photo, probably from yesterday's bookmobile stop, so that's, I think, a really cute story.
Yeah.
Say that, a grandparent took their grandchild, so I think that, just helps people remember, oh yeah, I should be looking out for the bookmobile.
Yes.
All right. Anything else we wanted to cover on this topic, on our goals? If not, we'll have more discussion. Next one probably will be in closed session because it'll be referring to Ryan specifically, starting in the committee of the whole. All right, next, potentially actionable items. Agenda for 2023 regular meeting or committee of the whole. You see it's on here already. Anything else anyone wants to add? Anything? Okay. Public forum. Does anyone else want to speak?
Yeah, I'll make two comments. First is about CCS. I'm not sure what it says about the parties I go to, but apparently cocktail conversation included books on hold and the changes that were going on. And while people were having issues, I was impressed that the collective knowledge seemed to know about the transition, seemed to know, and in general, people were expecting these to be minor. So, like I say, in a random conversation, both was known and being dealt with. And the other thing is just to pass on to the staff, when there's these threats, we really appreciate their diligence and patience. I mean, it's important to all of us to have a library, and I know that's not fun when you're interrupted by that, but we sure appreciate their patience with us.
Very nice.
Thank you. Can I say a little thing about that? The list of all the things that you put in the packet, I did look at them all, and a lot I think we've seen, but this one was sort of different. I'll just pass it around if people want to take a look at it. It was just a little different from the rest, so if you want to take a look.
Oh, the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I should have talked about that during the executive director's report, but we have not experienced any more threats, but they have continued. There were some, I think it was Aurora experienced a few last week, Chicago Public Library experienced a threat, so it's something that we continue to talk about. I was in a meeting with, that Rails organized and ILA was there, and talking about what we could do as library communities to support each other and shared resources, so.
I was in Iowa last weekend for the weekend, and they had one in Iowa City too.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Just
I haven't seen
continue.
anything on the television news.
Not
or
recently, no.
On the major networks, I haven't heard a word.
I did have one of my other book clubs, not that I'm reading that much, but yes. One of the ladies, she was a former teacher at District 56, happened to be, took two of our library books with her on vacation to Maui. And it was a day before the fires hit. They left, but she had inadvertently left a book there in the condo, and so she called the people back. This was before the fires. And just said, this was a library book, if you find it, could you please call me back, blah, blah. Of course, during then, the fires hit, so, she said, I didn't expect anybody would worry about a silly library book. So when she came here, she said, I fully expected to pay for it, told the clerk what exactly had happened, and she got all teary-eyed. She said the clerk was so kind and just said, we're gonna just, I don't know what the word was, absolve you of that payment for that book. Let's just not worry about that or something. So she was very impressed by the empathy that whoever that was, I think it was someone probably at checkout, but it was very kind. So she wanted me to pass it on.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that the intergovernmental picnic's on Thursday, and I'm going. Is anybody else going?
I'm also going.
It's gonna be a
I
party.
can't. It's this Thursday.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was,
I think she was.
Oh, no, I
got moved.
can't.
It got moved.
Yeah.
I knew there was a reason.
Well,
I couldn't
because
remember
it's,
what.
you get RSVP,
Okay.
so I thought,
Good point.
if you needed to attend, you could probably attend, and
Yeah, we must see
I
what.
would have liked to. I do like those. It was supposed to be last week, so.
Because it moved, I get to go.
I
so.
know.
Yeah, I could go last week, I can't go this week.
Who else
I
is
guess-
going to the?
So that brings us actually to announcements. Any announcements other than what's already here?
Can I just touch base on number
Please.
2? Could we talk about that? We don't need to do it now, but I'll call you about
Yeah.
the decennial
Mhm.
thing, just so
Sure,
I
absolutely.
get my ducks in a row.
Yep.
Can I just add a little bit about the library after dark?
Yes.
I know a number of people are coming from the board. We were hoping that we would have T-shirts available for purchase at the event, but we don't know that we're going to anymore. So if anybody wants to get a T-shirt ahead of time, if there's a spot on our website, you can go ahead and order one. They do close on Sunday though.
Okay.
But if you do that, you can pick them up at the event and then you can wear them when you're there.
It's the 7th?
Mhm.
Yeah. Are you going?
We can send out a link. No, I mean,
Yeah.
zero pressure, but we can send out a
Yeah,
link.
do we
You don't have to purchase.
Put a note out?
Well, we just have to buy a ticket.
No,
I
she means if
mean,
there's-
because all of the or
Oh.
more
Yeah,
than 2
trustee
trustees will
we'll
be
do a
there.
gathering, trustee
Yeah.
gathering. Mhm.
Do we have the cups yet?
We do have the cups, yes. Mhm.
Want
Do
to send a
you
photo?
want me
Yeah, I want to
okay,
send.
yes,
I
I can
don't know what I'm
send a photo.
purchasing beforehand.
Absolutely.
I haven't purchased yet. I was like, well,
Saturday, it's 7.
Are they doing raffles
Yeah.
like they've done for putting on the books and all that, right?
Yes.
Because in the past, the board has done a collective basket of some
Mhm.
sort. I know Joe already donated
Mhm.
her Wilt.
But I would do that too.
Of
course.
I just wondered if
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
wants to, I don't know
I'll pitch
what
in.
we did last year, or the last, well, it's been a while now.
When do you need it by?
Honestly, it can come in that last week.
Okay,
No, and if
so it's gonna be
for
fun.
the committee of the whole,
Okay.
Oh,
that
Yeah,
would be
that would be
October 3.
7th.
okay,
So-
we could,
You can put it
bring
together
things-
for the day.
Anyone have suggestions? for-
yeah, I'm just bringing it
Yeah,
up,
we
I
had
don't
a
have a
theme
creative thought.
before.
We do wine and stuff like that one time, that's pretty,
I have wine at
been
home.
done that, yeah. What else, we did coffee I don't.
We did the
remember.
board's
did
favorite
raffle.
things where you brought your favorite of something.
Oh, that's right.
We could do
I think we
local
did a
things.
favorite book, didn't we do that one time? We
Favorite book
each
one
brought a book
time,
or
the
something.
favorite, take
Something
your own
favorite,
something.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Something favorite.
Yeah. That might be
You want to do
easy.
that again?
Anybody else have another idea?
What if we did like local things available locally, like honey or
Oh,
Is that
my
hard?
husband's a
Oil.
beekeeper.
What?
Honey's easy.
Honey is easy.
Yes.
Local.
You could have been making money here. I go to the Gurney Market.
I'll bring,
Olive oil from Tornadoes, I got that.
I was about to say that.
I said for-
Now I got nothing.
What
I can
was your
find
idea?
something.
Olive oil?
That
Did you
was
say
my
that?
idea,
Oh,
olive
I'm
oil.
sorry. We were
There's
talking about it
local
before.
olive oil?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's, no, it's from Greece.
It's from Greece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought
No, it's a patron of ours.
It's a local family.
Local family, right. Sorry,
Olive
yeah,
oil
no, I
farm
know,
in
yeah.
Greece.
I wish I could.
And restaurants
here.
here.
Grapes, but no.
I can
don't know.
figure something out.
Or should we
But it
just do
doesn't
a
have to be
favorite?
food, it could just be
Yeah.
Okay, so are we doing
Which
our
one are we doing?
favorite thing or our local thing?
either way, because
Okay.
yours work for both.
It does. Although
Everyone
I'll have to
brings
hear it.
something.
Bring
Okay.
something, yeah.
We'll worry about a
We'll
theme
call
another
it the
time.
board hodgepodge.
Okay.
If I can't find something local, then it will be one of my favorite
All right.
things.
Yeah, it's favorite things. And if it's local,
And
all
we're
the better.
bringing it
Right.
here.
Board
I mean, it could
favorite
be
things, bring
movie
it,
tickets,
So bring it
City of the
to
Whole.
the- okay.
certificate
Yeah.
to the movie
Yeah.
theater.
And then do we need a basket?
That's what I was
I
thinking
think
too, yeah.
I might have one, I'll look for a basket.
Yeah, I can't remember.
If you don't have one,
I
call
think
me.
so.
We'll work together on that, Joe.
Okay.
All right.
How big are people expecting to bring things? Small?
Oh.
You know how big the olive oil is.
Olive oil skinny.
Yeah, I was thinking
Well,
wine.
Bring it
Or
to
wine,
Jar,
that-
honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
so we need a,
I might have something bigger too if we need something. I'll bring it just in case. Okay.
can we bring
Favorite
lottery
things.
tickets or things like that? Would that be a disqualifier?
No, I think people might actually
I'll
like
go
that.
for that.
Yeah.
If you could buy it at the
That's the
local
mystery,
liquor
'cause
store.
Value
There you
of this
go.
basket between 1 million.
There you go. That's great, Amy.
Is anyone planning to attend the ILA Annual Conference Trustee Day?
It's in Springfield?
No, I think
Well,
I'm.
Springfield is, but I have to ask, is anybody planning to attend?
When is that?
In Springfield, I don't know.
It's,
Thursday, October
So
26th.
you got the date, yeah.
It's in
Right,
here
the
in the
week, a
calendar.
little bit before Halloween, yeah.
I don't know.
It's-
Nobody's
it's-
expected to attend. I'm
it's-
just asking if anybody felt the need to. If
It's tough when it's
anyone
downstate.
feels, like a desire to go to Springfield.
Oh, it's a,
It's a happening place in Springfield.
my sister's.
And it's probably it's during veto session.
Maybe down there anyway. right?
No, I'm actually out of town. I'm actually out of town for a conference,
I'm
but
amazed that you're very
they
excited about that.
can't, they passed new legislation where they can't host fundraisers during session. So if there is a reception, you don't get charged for them anymore, which is really nice when you don't actually have money to just be dropping $250 for everyone. So if you end up going, let me know. I'll let you know if there's any receptions. There's a Dave's party where all people named Dave all come together to throw a party bipartisan.
Well, that's very exclusive, I think.
That's really legislative. No, they put it on. They pay for
That
it.
is some inside
Oh,
baseball.
They
right
pay
there.
for it and we all come. All
There you
the
go.
Republicans and Democrats, we all come together.
They're not checking.
President Don
IDs.
Harmon is playing his
There, is that-
guitar
was
and
that gavel
singing.
So, yeah, moving on.
Anyways, I did have one announcement, two announcements. The newsletter's always lovely, but I really appreciate it and all the programming. I have it all on my calendar for both Hispanic Heritage Month and everything you guys are doing with veterans. So I know that the team puts a lot of work into making all the programs. So I really appreciated that and seeing stuff in Spanish as it's slowly transitioning into where it's possible. And then on a work level, Drip and Culture is a coffee shop that's here in Waukegan. It's inside a grocery store called Gonzalez, and they were actually the first grocery store 40 years ago to move into Lake County and offer tortillas for the Mexican community, which was really important. It opened in
I
North
take
Chicago.
exception to that,
Uh-oh.
because I've been buying tortillas since I could
Uh-oh.
walk to the store.
Here in Waukegan?
Yes.
Yes?
Where I grew up,
Okay.
Huh?
and I am
Oh.
61 years old. So 40
There
years
you
would
go.
put me at 21, and I was
Okay.
doing this at 5 years old.
And is that store
Okay.
still there?
Yeah.
The store was still there.
There's
Yeah,
still the
that's
store there.
awesome.
Oh, well, I was under the impression they were the first ones.
My grandmother was probably the first Mexican to live in Gurnee.
Ah,
We haven't looked into it, but she probably was.
Hmm. So they opened in North Chicago, and now they have a second location in Waukegan, which is off Grand. But now the owners are no longer managing. They're still alive, but they passed the management on to their daughter and her husband, and they decided they wanted to see how they could revamp the grocery store, how could they get more people here. So one of the corners, they transitioned into a coffee shop, so that's called Drip and Culture. So during this whole month of Hispanic Heritage Month, every purchase, money is gonna be donated to Mano a Mano, the Democracy in Action Program, which I lead. So if you're looking for coffee and a new place, Drip and Culture, I'll text you guys individually, the address if you're interested in going.
And I will go on record, and Celeste put me up to this. It is like it's the best. I'm a little bit of a coffee snob. It's the best coffee in Lake County. I'll say
Really?
it point blank.
Oh,
It's
really?
fantastic. So
Yeah.
if you haven't been there, check it out.
And where is this
On
at?
Grand Avenue?
It's on Grand Avenue,
Yeah.
right before you hit Lewis, if I'm
Okay,
remembering
okay.
my streets correctly.
Just west of Jackson.
So is it
The two
on
blocks
Just
west
the
west
of
of
Jackson.
Jackson.
north side or
I
south
mean,
side
west
of
of
the street?
Lewis. Yes.
South side.
Sure, I was like, I barely know that direction is east.
Yeah, you
So-
There's no parking lot.
So it's
Yeah.
near the,
Super
near the
Mercado
Panteria
Gonzalez.
there?
Yep.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah,
I know
it's
what
on
you're
that
talking
same side as up on
about.
Lydia, yeah.
You might like to know,
Oh.
my mom was also the first bilingual aide in Waukegan, and she helped start the bilingual program.
Oh.
My parents and grandparents were involved in the American GI Forum and all of that, like, that they were the founders of all these things for Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Mhm. Very good.
So you can put in Drip and Culture in your
Drip and
Google
Culture.
Maps, but you'll be walking into a grocery store. Just
Okay.
know.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also they've done a lot to support the Waukegan Public Library because it's in their
Mm.
district, and they've done they used to sell shirts, Drip and Culture, Waukegan Public Library. So big strong supporter of libraries as well. So
Yeah.
another reason to go, another bonus.
That was my first job as a librarian. I was at Waukegan.
Yeah.
And you did bookmobile.
I did.
Ah.
And reference.
Did you drive? No.
Oh, no.
Just thought
They had 3 bookmobiles, and there was a little vehicle that they would tow behind it. So the bookmobile driver, you would meet him at the stop, then he would get in this little thing.
A little car?
Well, it was like I can't describe it.
I remember that
And he would
thing.
go back and get the second one, take it to the location, third one, take it to the
Oh my
location.
gosh.
Now it's time for the first one to go to another location, lather, rinse, repeat.
Oh, oh my.
What
It
a
was fun.
process.
What?
Yeah, they don't have
One
any there
person.
anymore, I don't believe.
They don't have any?
Do they? I don't think they do anymore.
Hmm.
They're looking into getting a van.
Ah, okay, good. Yeah,
Needs
something.
catching on.
And then my last thing, I forgot to bring it in, which thankfully, I was already running late apparently. I have a report that Brushwood did. Brushwood does a lot of work with the library. They did a health, equity, and environments where we have over 30 maps talking about access to nature and water and resources. So, I think it's a great resource. So I brought one for everyone. So it's in the car. There's an executive summary, but basically, Lake County is filled with beautiful nature. We should access it. There's accessibility issues, and there are recommendations on the back as to how everyday people, all the way up to people in office, can do their little part when it comes to the environment and looking at health disparities.
Took a bike ride on Sunday evening. I saw a white heron, a blue heron, 4 different beavers,
Oh.
a duck that I didn't recognize, and other wildlife. But
And it-
four
Did you see any
big-
sandhill cranes? Because they're all around.
are they white
Yeah,
or?
They're kind of a beige
They're
brown. with red.
brown, they're
No, I
big.
didn't see one
Tall
of
and
those.
skinny. Yeah.
There was a white one and there was the blue one.
Very cool.
But 4 beavers.
Yeah, I've only ever seen where they've been when the trees come, across the. just went
One,
through
I
the
have
trail.
to admit, might be the same one twice.
It's just fast.
All right. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So
I move to
moved.
adjourn.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? It is 8:00.
So what are they annexing?